There we go, that's better. All right, camera fell down, but that's okay, we're still here. All refreshed for 2024 is Mercedes-Benz's largest SUV. So if you're in the market for an Escalade, a Yukon Denali, an X7, even a Range Rover, you might want to consider this. Now there's 3 different trim levels, not excluding the Maybach. There is the GLS 450, the GLS 580, and the GLS 63. I love the words 63. They're actually numbers. There are so many Mercedes SUVs. Listen to this. There is the Mercedes-Benz GLA, the GLB, the GLC, the GLC Coupe, the GLE, the GLE Coupe, the GLS. Then you have the Maybach stuff, which is even crazier. Then you have the EQB, the EQE, the EQS. Yeah, there's probably more in the lineup that I just can't even remember. This? So let's focus on this, the Mercedes-Benz GLS 580. Let's get into it. We've got a Mercedes-Benz GLS 580 that makes 510 horsepower and 538 pound-feet of torque out of a bi-turbo V8 that's 4 liters in capacity. Okay, I've got my draggy on. Let's see what this thing does. I will put it in sport mode. Cool, cool, cool. Let's hit some gasolina. There's no launch control here. I will just hit some power like I am right now and let go to bed. Shift is awesome. Boom, shifts fast. 5.1. Woo. 5 seconds. There's a lot of fives going on. 580, 510 horsepower, 538 pound-feet of torque, 5.1 seconds. You think this thing can break in the 4s? Well, let's try it out. I'm an S. I'm an S for gears. I'm an S for sport. I think it's one of those things I gotta just time the throttle right. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go, it's better. All right, camera fell down, but that's okay, we're still here. 4.96. All right, camera, you're still here. I still got you, but hang on, I gotta show you this. I gotta show you this. Before you go away, I'm gonna pull this thing down. Right there. 4.9, does it do me? 4.96. Oh wow, that's so off greeny. 4.96. Now to fix the camera. 4.96 is what we got. That is a good number, man. 4.96. Under 5 seconds for this mobile is amazing. To the front, serious question. Would you buy this front end or a Navigator's front end or even an Escalade's front end? This seems a little bit subdued if you ask me. Including these 4 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4 horizontal bars. That's all sort of a one piece that come together around the massive Mercedes-Benz logo that has these little lines in it just to get the snow off it in the winter time. And then of course you have the front camera. So nice big bulky section here and nice big bulky section here. And if you thought I forgot about these angel-eyed front headlights, they're smaller now too for the refresh. Check out this massive projector.
What are you doing, Mike?
Oh, nothing. To the side of the Mercedes-Benz GLS, their largest SUV. And because it's their largest SUV, passenger comfort is key.
Wow.
So this has air suspension. It is actually standard on all GLS models, but it has a special trick up its sleeve, and that is called E-body control. And what it does is it has the front camera, it looks out to the world, and when it notices that's a bad bump coming up, it lets the suspension know. And the suspension's like, I'm ready for you. It hits it nice and gently. Yep, that's E-body control. Now these wheels are 21-inch wheels, but I have a little bit of beef with the design of them. I like the fact that it says AMG. I like the fact that it's all gray on the inside. But what I don't like about it is all these extra rings it has. It has 3 rings. A nice thick one here in gray, a little one in gray, and then this chrome piece on the outside, or polished. But this 21-inch wheel looks really small when it's actually not. Now, it does have winter tires on it. Thank you, Mercedes-Benz, for protecting us in the thick of winter. Now, moving down this long Mercedes-Benz, you do have one of the cameras here for the 360 surround system. You do have nice big windows, and you do have a bit of a flare. Now, in white, it's kind of hard to see this, but it does flare out. The front does kick out a little bit. You do have a little bit of a body bump here, and you can see you do have some hips, which I do like. It's not flat. It's a little bit of, you know, style over there. But I do have a complaint. And I've had a complaint about this with Mercedes-Benz forever, and it's this. These side steps are always way too short. I don't have big feet. These are size 10s, okay? Now I'm putting my foot in here, and the ball of my foot isn't even on there. It slips out, which is kind of tricky. Might as well not even have them. So for me, this is more of an aesthetic piece than a usability piece. They should bump out a little bit more. What's up with that, Mercedes-Benz? What's up with that? Now you have this really big window on the back here for the passengers in the third row. It does screw up the design here a little bit, but that's okay because the important part is people in the back row not feeling claustrophobic. And there's no way, because when I'm standing here, I can see the driver clearly, which means less blind spots and a lot of room for visibility for everybody in the back. So on the back of the GLS, it's kind of rounded. It's very GLB-ish, but just bigger. It's nothing really to scream home about. Yep, you got a third brake light. You got a pretty flat rear window so you can see out of it very easily. Of course, you have a rear wiper, pretty typical stuff. If you're wondering where the camera is, it's not right here. It's actually underneath there. It's hidden and it flaps down when you put it in reverse. You have the GLS 580 and the 4MATIC right there. The taillights, pretty straightforward stuff, nothing to scream home about. If you're wondering what this tows, 7,716 pounds is what you can tow with this guy, and has a tongue weight of over 300 pounds, which means two of me can fit on this by standing and jumping on the back of this thing. And how about exhaust? Well, you have this side and this side. Are they legit? And the answer is, they are. Okay, front seat. Okay, so first things first, I want to talk about the sound system. I drove this for 2 hours to bring it to our studio, and I will say the sound system is amazing. It's got a 13-speaker Burmeister sound system standard on all GLS models. It's not even the upgraded 26-speaker 3D version. This 13-speaker is amazing. It was so crisp and clear, and I loved it. That was the best part of this. Obviously, the drive's very, very smooth, and we'll get to that. But this is just so good. Anyways, fit and finish. Very nice. I love the mix of materials. This wood is real looking. The center console wood, real looking. The leather, very tightly wrapped. The ambient lighting in all the right places. Now, Mercedes-Benz has a lot of experience when it comes to ambient lighting. They've really toned it down on this one and placed it in the right spots. You still have 64 different colors you can pick, but it's just in the right pieces, the right places, I should say. You do have heated and ventilated seats. Of course, these are massage seats, same with the back. You do have your buttons here to adjust all your different things, like putting your headrest higher and lower, moving your lower seat up so you have leg extensions. So all kinds of adjustments on these seats, including all the massages you'd like to have, relaxation, comforting, all that fun stuff. You have memory seat. You have 1, 2, and 3. You can't really see it. They've used a font you can't really see, and it's not backlit. I don't know why. Anywho's, strong and firm. You do have heads-up display. You do have a sporty steering wheel. You do have paddle shifters. And to change gears up here, you have your park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And of course, it is tilt and telescopic, including heated seats. And behind the steering wheel, you have dual 12.3-inch screens that are all made to one glass panel. It's all digital. You have different displays you can have, and I'll talk about that in a minute. You have a big vent on the left-hand side and a faux vent up here. Not really sure why, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 little guys. You should have maybe chained this little piece over here. Maybe done something like Hyundai, where they have a little board where you can put paper clips. So some people wonder where the auto stop start is. You know, the one when you come to a traffic light, the engine shuts off and then comes back on again when you hit the gas or take your foot off the brake? Well, it's right here next to the start engine. So when you want to start the car, of course, you hit this button. But when you want to change the on and off, starting when you come to a stop sign, that's right there. Now you have a lot of tactile buttons. So when you hit these buttons, they actually make a clicking sound. Listen. Love that on the HVAC controls. Mercedes-Benz, please don't ever change that. Now, I have this center console with a big slider, massive slider, real wood. Love the feel of this thing. Move it back. I have wireless charger. Put your phone there, done. I have 2 USB-Cs. Plug your phones in, done. Then I have a cigarette lighter. Plug your phone in there, or your vape, if you do that kind of stuff, right there. Then right in the center here, you have a touchpad. You can slide your finger left and right to skip tracks, a home button. It's a trackpad. You can use your fingers up and down. If you don't like that, this is touch screen, so you can simply touch it. So you have both options here. Then of course you have your navigation, your telephone, your radio, and then car specific buttons. So when I hit this button, it gives me all my different functions of the vehicle, such as heads up display, having it on or off, things like that. And then there's a bigger button down here. Now you're wondering what this little brown thing is here? That's to put your elbow.
Wow.
And then you have this wrist pad where your wrist sits right here, and then you can use it on the trackpad. But then here you have this big wide toggle, and that is for your air suspension. I like this. You hit it up and down and it adjusts your air suspension. And then you have handlebars, which reminds me of Porsche. This is very Porsche right here with some ambient lighting flowing through it. So let's talk about getting into the third row. First things first, the door, opening and closing this door. It's a fairly wide door, so you have to give it a little bit of strength to open up this door. Now getting into the back is very easy. There's simply just a button you pull, you let go, it's all automatic, nothing mechanical here. This slides forward, it does one of these funky movements, gives it a bit of a dance, and then it gives you hopefully enough room to get into the back. Now again, this is just 2 and 2, or 2 per, go up, come on, up you go. Okay, all right, let's try this up. Do I push this manually? Yes, I do. There I go. Okay, so there you have it. That's how it goes up. So it's not really built for wide adults. I'm probably the widest that, you know, as a human would want to be sitting in the third row here. I do have a lot of luxury back here though. Like I talked about, really good visibility. Lots of glass here. I do have a vent here so I don't feel claustrophobic. The panoramic sunroof unfortunately doesn't go far enough back. It's right here. So when I'm back here, I don't have any sunlight just through the side here. It's okay. I wish they did put either a panel here or have this roof come a little bit more back to at least here so I can just kind of, you know, see the buildings above me if I'm in the city. I do have a USB, a USB-C, so 2 USB-Cs, and then I have a button here that I pull back and hopefully that brings this seat back here. Okay, yes it does. Come on back. And then I have another button for heated seats, which is really cool to have. Having heated seats in the third row is actually a really good feature. Not a lot of vehicles have it. Now I do like the fact that it's all powered and all motorized, but I do actually question the longevity and the do things break model. The fact that everything is powered here is really nice, really luxurious, and obviously at this price point you kind of expect it to be. But the other side of it is like, oh, will this last with all this back and forth and this movement and this up and down and all that stuff? If you guys think it'll last, let me know in the comments below. And if you think that it's just made to fail, well, let me know as well. Now, when I want to put this seat down, I have to hold this button down and it'll come right back to this position. Now, I don't understand why it stops right here. When I hold this down, it should go back to a position that it was, you know, before I touched it. But it doesn't. It stops right in this 90-degree position, which I guess saves the people's legs behind. So that kind of makes sense. But this is the position that you're left in. So let's do it right here where we move it with this. This is what you have to do to move back to a fair position and ask the people in the back, are you guys okay? Are you guys okay? How's your feet? Are you guys okay? You good? Yeah? You sure? Good? Yeah? Yeah? You good? You good? You sure? You sure? You good? You've got to ask them that question, and it happens all here. So it's a bit unfortunate. If you hit this button, it should go back to this exact position. And to prove it doesn't, I'll do it again. I'll lift this button up. It does the whole spiel here. It does this moving forward, lifting up. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to hold this thing down. And when I hold it down, look where it stops. Right here again. And I got to go back here and I got to put this back. This is a little bit irritating. And there's no memory seat here, which they should have added. So you hit a button and it goes back to where it's at, if that was the choice. Now you do have heated and ventilated seats per side, so that's a nice touch. So let me jump in and experience this second row. Wow, it is really good though. Oh my God, this is really comfortable. These seats are amazing. And I love this leather. Oh my God, this is perforated, heated and cooled, like we talked about. But look right here, this material that they've used is amazing, very high quality. I've never seen this material used before in any vehicle. Now I've seen these pillows before on the Maybach, so that's cool. But this right here, really nice touch. And it's a really good seat because it's putting me in. My knees are definitely higher than my booty. And this position, it's sort of a race feel, but it's comfortable and very good lower back support. Very, very good lower back support. Now, door panel, you do have the Burmeister sound system. You, again, talked about heated and ventilated seats. You do have a lot of ambient lighting all the way through. Real wood here. Nice, real wood. Look at this quality. Very, very good. This is what luxury is about in the back of a GLS, which makes sense, right? Because this is the S-Class. Like, this is the dominant Mercedes-Benz SUV, the S-Class. And this is not even the Maybach. Whew, this is a good car in the back, man. Okay, let's pull this down, see what you get. Okay, this pulls down. Look at that. You get a screen. Hit the button. Voila. Phone comfort settings. I can skip tracks. Wireless charger right there. Push this down, more storage. This is just amazing. And then here you have your HVAC controls you can hit without using that pad. Those are the temperature, very clean digital dials. You have all the buttons you need there. You have your vents here, you have a vent here, you have a vent up here. So you not only have two vents, two different directions, you have one up here as well. All black headliner, just really good second row, really good. So let's open up the tailgate of this GLS 580. It's a single panel tailgate, which is different than the BMW X7, which is a split tailgate. It opens up this way and then it folds down so you have sort of a bench, and that's powered. In this specific case, it's just one big trunk lid. Now let's see what's underneath this thing and see how much room we have. So first things first, underneath we have a temporary spare. That's nice to see, and a little bit of storage around there. And as far as depth goes, let me move on the other side. Ian, jump around. You have 23 inches of depth behind the third row. Now the GLS is available in a 6 or 7 passenger. This is a 7 passenger, but you can opt for the 6, and the 6 has 2 captain's chairs. Now if you're wondering how to put these seats down, well, you have controls on this side and that side. On the left side here, it's to put down the second row, and on that side, it's to put down the third row. So let me show you how to put the third row down. I can hit this one button here, and then on the left side, that folds down. Come on, fold down. You can do it. Put your back into it. And there we go. So it's cool because it moved the second row forward, and then when I put this seat down, it'll do the same thing. That seat will move forward first, the second row, watch it move. There it goes, and then this seat folds all the way down. That's nice to see. If we've got this tonneau cover out of the way, it'd make it easier for you guys to see. And there's a final button here, and this button is to lower the vehicle. So when I pull it, it drops the vehicle. Let's see if it's gonna do that now. Yes, it does. It's going down, down, down. All right, takes a little bit of time, but anyways, you get the drift because it has air suspension. Then you have the buttons here, so I'm gonna push these buttons down. The cool part on this side though is that you hit the button and all the seats fold down. So it's a single button, the headrests move up, and the whole thing goes down, all in one shot. You'll also notice that it has a flat floor. This is as flat as it gets. Take a look. So let's show you how much room or how much depth we have in terms of measurements from that center console. We have about 77 inches worth of depth. And as far as height goes, for those that care about that kind of stuff, you have 33.5 inches. And as far as width goes, you have 47.5, almost 4 feet. Man, that's really close to 4 feet. You won't be able to put drywall in here because you have these kickouts here for the wheels and these armrests for the third row. Driving people around in this is so free and easy. It is really good. It is really, really, really good. And it's very light. Like, I had this and I had the Tesla and I had a RAV4 to jump into. I'm like, no, I'll just jump in this. It's so easy. It's perfect ride height. You get out of this thing, get in this thing so easily. Very light steering, very nimble. It doesn't feel as big as it is whatsoever. Like, it's a big vehicle, man. This is Mercedes-Benz largest SUV. This should be massively, like, it should feel massive. Now, granted, they don't make the GL. They used to make the GL before, and the GL was bigger, more boxy, at least felt that way. This is big, but it's rounded off. Like, it's really big, but it doesn't feel that way whatsoever. And it handles really well, man, really well. Like, I just did this exact same setup, and we did both cars back to back, this RAV4 and this. And the RAV4, it doesn't really hold the road well, but this, like, you can really tell the difference. Like, I mean, obviously, you can't compare them. But just think about the size and how big this thing is and the weight of this versus what the RAV4 is. It's very light. Great steering, very comfortable, good visibility, great seats. Nothing to really complain, man. Honestly, like the X7 was definitely more sporty. I felt like the X7 handled a bit better, but not even close to ride. So for me, if I was buying an X7 or buying this, I would for sure buy this because this has a purpose. The purpose is to move people. And if you're gonna move people, you wanna move people as easy as possible, as smooth as possible, as quiet as possible. But when you're in it by yourself, you want a good sound system, which what this thing does have. It has a great sound system. Really good 360 cameras and rear camera, man. This is very good quality. And the beepings aren't super annoying. The shifting is really good. Oh man, the steering wheel is nice to touch. I'm getting a liking to Benz as time goes on. We've reviewed a lot of Benzes on the channel. And some are meh, some are not bad. Some are really good. This is one of the really good Benzes that they've made, I believe. Yeah, it's just like the right pieces. Sometimes it's also the choice of cars we get. I mean, it sounds crazy, but you're actually selecting specific things about a car when they give us the cars or when you pick the car as a buyer. You have to pick the right options. You screw up and you pick the wrong options, it just doesn't work. So this leather is really good. So whoever built this car needs to get an applause. Applauso, 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 applauso. Oh. You know what's funny? When I talk to people about getting air suspension, all they tell me is that, oh my God, it's gonna be expensive to replace. For sure, but nothing and nobody keeps cars for a long time anymore. It's all short-term everything. 3 to 5 years, that's it. If you're getting something that's 20 years old, obviously you have to worry about air suspension. But air suspension pieces actually cost anywhere between $700 and $1,000 per corner. So $4,000, it's gonna last like 10 years. So let's call it $400 a year. You get air suspension for $400 a year. I would spend that money all day long, because you get a really good ride, and the ride is key. It makes you want to be in your vehicle. If the ride sucks, you don't want to drive it. That's like the deal. It's like you're not going to wear pants that are uncomfortable just because they look good. You wear them once in a while, but you're not going to wear them consistently. That's why some brands do really well. I can't speak for Lululemon myself. Another focus in this type of vehicle is mid-range power. So when I'm puttering along at say about 40 miles an hour, and when I hit the gas about halfway, not all the way, halfway, how does it react? So let's try it here. There we go, it just downshifts and it's smooth. Perfect, that's exactly how it's supposed to operate, so that's good. Now, as time goes on, they'll probably incorporate having a rear view mirror camera. Right now they do not, it's just simply a rear camera, because if you have bodies in here, you're not gonna see what's behind you unless you put in reverse. You kinda wanna have a rear view mirror camera. I think it makes sense to have one, so maybe Mercedes-Benz in the future will add it. We will find out. What about these screens? Well, the screens, you can't really see them very well when the steering is at the position it's at right now. I have to put the steering wheel either up for me to see all the gauges, or I have to put it really low and then move my body to this side here to see. Otherwise, it's kind of in the way. It's no fault of Benz. It's kind of sort of how I'm sitting, but I'm sitting, I would say, a little bit higher than normal, but my eyes are right in the middle of the window, right in the middle. And my steering, I hate having the steering wheel up high like a bus driver. I like having the steering wheel as low as possible, sort of so my elbows are in the same sort of spot right there. See, so like my elbows right here, this is right like 90 degrees, and just a little bit higher is where I like my steering wheel. I don't like it up here. I don't want my shoulders to shrug when I'm driving. And when I'm in this position, I can't see the gauges. I can see a bit of them, but I can't see all of them. So I won't know how fast I'm driving in this exact position unless I put in the center. But in the normal gauge, and you can change the gauges with this Benz, but in the normal gauges, the digital speedometer is right at the top, so I can't see it. I'll have to just toggle down here and go through the different gauges that are offered on this. So I have classic, sport, understated. So let's go to sport. And sport has the RPM. Again, the speedometer is still right at the top here. When I move it to understated, let's take a look, still at the top. So how do I get a speedometer that's not right at the top is the question. I got navigation assistance and off-road. Let's try off-road. Nope, still at the top. So that is a bit of a problem. I'll never really know how fast I'm going, unless of course it's got heads-up display, which it does. Boom, I know how fast I'm driving. So you've got enough pieces here that if nothing works for you, something else will in this. It's got all the right stuff. But again, on the walk around, I'd tell you guys, about how that back seat doesn't have a pre-programmed setting that you can set when you get in for specific kids. They should add that because that makes sense. I mean, this is what this is about, right? It's all about the kids. Because if somebody would buy this, you're not buying this if you have no kids. That's the legitimate truth. So, hope you guys like this review on this 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 580. Not the 450, not the Maybach, not the 63, the 580. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.